dotted lines, charges and countercharges of violations of the ceasefire line, and they were moving troops up to the frontier. I don't mean inside Kashmir, but toward Kashmir. And at that time, it was not feasible to get the two prime ministers to talk at what's now called at the summit. So they only talked through the UN mediator, not to each other. And we made them 12 proposals, which involving the main issues between them, and they accepted 4 after 4 months. They accepted 4 more after 6 months, 6 months more, and they accepted 4 more after 4 or 5 more months. That makes 10 out of the 12, doesn't it? But the last 2 were the crucial ones, and I couldn't get them to agree on the last 2, which involved the date for the induction of the plebiscite administrator into office and the number of armed forces to be left on each side of the line. So then we suggested that the prime ministers take it, and they have it now, and they've had it for about 2 years now. And they are to have another conference soon. And if they don't clean up those last 2 things, I expect it'll be coming back to the UN. Now that's the present status. That's where the case is now.
Status is quo, huh?
Yeah. The United States doesn't spend as much money on the UN for its annual budget as the state of New York does, the city of New York does on its garbage bill.
You mean total money? Dollars and cents?
Yeah. The annual budget. I'm not talking about emergency funds now. I'm talking about the annual running current budget of the UN. The U.S. gives 1/3 of the support that the UN gets. We have more than 1/3 of the wealth of the world, but we said we wouldn't give more than 1/3, which I think is good. I don't think we ought to give more than 1/3. But that 1/3 doesn't total as much as the city of New York spends to keep its streets clean.
How does it compare with Russia's contribution?
It's more than Russia's contribution.
In view of the fact that both Nehru and Menon seem to be neutral in favor of communism, it's practical for us to keep extending practical technical aid to the reclamation project.
Well, if it's done as a humanitarian thing, the poor people that are starving starve whether India is neutral or not. Of course, the Indians say, well, you all became neutral after your revolution because you wanted to get stabilized. Washington, you remember, against great pressure. You know, we had a treaty with France. They were to help us, and they helped us. And without the aid of the French and other countries, we'd have had a hard time winning the revolution. And then when France got into a war, she then said, now, we helped you, we'd like for you to help us. Be on our side. And that was almost a world war, if you remember. And we said no. We had just been through a revolution, and the going is tough, and we better use these years now to be neutral. That isn't said in justification to anybody, but it's said in explanation of the fact that when a country just won its freedom and come out of a revolution, it's mighty apt to not want to get involved on one side or the other.
Well, that would be fine if it really was neutral, but it seems to be neutral, thoroughly neutral against the United States. especially Krishna and Menon.
Well, of course, they deny that. I can't go into that because that's outside of my jurisdiction, but they deny that. In India, I've seen him do it, inside of India. And they fight him, too.
How strong is this Menon?
I can't talk about any personalities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All your questions answered, Bruce?
You know, read Surratt.
Yeah, I taught him.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, got a new job now.